Hello, my name's Sue Lewis and I'm going to be running you through this session today. The session lasts about an hour, but I'm going to talk for about 10 minutes and then you'll get a chance to go onto Careerpilot, which is a careers website, so you can explore the things you're particularly interested in. So this session is aimed at Year 11 and it's all about the options you can choose at the end of Year 11. You post 16 options. And right at the end, you're going to do something called the Careerpilot Pathway Planner. So to get started, the great news is that you've won the lottery. And the prize you've won is, just imagine there's no COVID, we can go anywhere we want to. You could go to Barbados, Australia, South Africa, Belgium, or England. So take a minute to think, which one will you choose? But hold on a minute, I've just got a little bit more detail. So Barbados, have just found out you're going to be packing bananas. Australia, you're going to be sheep shearing. South Africa, cleaning toilets. Belgium, testing chocolate. England, Glastonbury tickets. So now you've got a bit more information. Which place do you want to go to now? Do you want to change your choice? So this just makes the point that the more information you've got, the better informed you could be when you make a decision. And that's exactly what you need to do when you're looking at your post 16 options. Find out the detail. You're in charge of your own career, but we're here to help. We've got a video, which is only about 3 minutes long, to just kind of explain to you the things you could be doing to take charge of your career. So you can look on YouTube to look at the video. It's called Get Ready for Your Future Career, or the address of the video is at the bottom. So if you'd like to go and watch that video now, so pause this one, watch the video, and then come back to my presentation. So hopefully you saw from that video the particular things you can do to manage your career. And what I'm going to do now is go through each of the things that were mentioned in the video. Number one was know yourself. And on the Careerpilot website, we've got a whole section which is called Start With You. So this is about finding out what motivates you, what your interests are, your skills, the things that particularly drive you. So in Start With You, there's quizzes to get you started. You could start with a subject you like and see where it might lead. You can do the skills map, or you can plan your qualifications, look at a ladder and say which way you might go. I'm just going to show you some of those things now. So in quizzes to get you started, there's a job sector quiz. So that could be a good way to get started. 50 pictures of things you might like to do in a work situation. You can tick as many of those that appeal to you as you want. And then you'll get directed towards job sectors where you can find out more about things that seem to connect with the things you're interested in. So maybe you'll get directed towards the sports, leisure and tourism sector, or hair, beauty and well-being. So there's lots of sectors in Careerpilot, and if you go to one of those sectors, you'll find lots of jobs, often jobs you've never heard of before, so it's definitely worth exploring. You could do the skills map. So that starts with a quiz about the things you've already done in your life and learning. So you might have kept going with a hobby or sport out of school. And for everything you take, and you can take as many as you want to, it will tell you what skills you've been using if you've done that particular thing. So in this case, you've been using your resilience, you've been keeping going, or you've been staying positive so that you keep going with a hobby or sport out of school. So in the skills profile, you'll see a whole list of skills that employers are looking for, and universities and colleges too. And then you'll find any examples that have come from the quiz. You can add your own. So there's lots of things you might be doing in school, out of school, that haven't been mentioned in the quiz. So add an example might be something you do, like a captain of a football team, or you might be really into knitting, or you might be into dog walking, wherever it might be. And then you can say what skills that particular activity is giving you. All your examples will be put into the skills bank. So here you'll see examples from the quiz and examples you've put in, and they're there for you later when you come to apply. So when you want to apply for something, you'll see all the examples you can be talking about. You can also see how your skills compare to a job you might be interested in. So if you type in the name of the job, like nurse, and then you'll be able to see the skills required for a nurse, and you'll be able to see your skills alongside that. If you want to start with a subject, if you've got a subject you really love, click on that and you'll get ideas for jobs that subject could lead on to, courses at uni, apprenticeships, college courses. So it just might give you some ideas of where you might go in the future. So number 2 in the video was do stuff. So this is about building your CV, building your skills. So obviously in year 10, 11, number 1 priority is focusing on your GCSEs, but don't drop the other things you might be doing out of school, because these are really going to be good on your CV and could help you stand out if you've got these experiences you can talk about. Number 3 was know all your options, which you're going to be talking about in detail today. So in terms of choosing your options, what do you need to think about? Well, first of all, you need to know what grades you'd like to get for your GCSEs, because that will determine the sort of qualification you could go on to do. Also think about how you like to learn. Is it by doing or by studying? Because that might influence the pathway you decide to study. So in terms of making career decisions for the future, some people start with the job, because they've already got a job in mind, and work out what they need to do to get to that job. Some people do the other way around. They start with a subject they love, they might do that at A-level and at degree level, and then look for a job later. Just remember, there's lots of ways of getting to the same future job, which I'll show you a bit more about later. So at 16, your choices are these pathways. You can choose the academic pathway, vocational, where you do a course that's related to an area of work like business, work-based, where you're being taught how to do the job in the work situation with an employer. And in this country, we have different levels of qualification. Actually goes up to level 8. And where you are at the moment is here. So if you get 5 GCSEs of grade 4 to 9, you'll have a level 2 qualification that you can take forward. If you have GCSEs grades 1 to 3, then you'll have a level 1. If you've got level 1, there are things you could do a level 2. You could do a vocational course. You might have heard of BTECs or OCRs. A level 2 course you could do in a vocational area. Or you could do some training in the workplace, and that would be an intermediate apprenticeship. If you got level 2, then you could go on to A-levels, or you could do a level 3 BTEC, and there's new qualifications called T-levels, which I'll mention in a minute, which are vocational qualifications. Or you could do an advanced apprenticeship. Then after that, you'd be thinking, well, am I going to do a level 4, level 5, and level 6 is where you get a degree, and you can see that all the pathways lead to potential degree. So this is where you're making the decision now. You're moving from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3. Just to explain that there are multiple pathways into the same job in many cases. So Lucy and Leon are both nurses, but they got there in different ways. So Lucy did GCSEs, then she did a level 3 BTEC, then she started a degree, and then she got a nursing qualification. Leon did it slightly differently. He did A-levels, then did an apprenticeship, and he became a nurse through that pathway. So just check that whatever pathway you choose is going to get you to the job you're interested in. And it's true that some jobs there is only one pathway. Like if you want to be a dentist, you have to go through the academic pathway, for example. But for many other things, there's lots of different routes to get there. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the 3 pathways. Vocational, this is the one where it's related to a job. It'll happen in a college, and some schools offer these as well. Colleges offer a lot of them, and schools offer some of them. Just remember too, if you're thinking about college, most colleges don't do A-levels, they just do vocational courses. Some do offer A-levels, so you do need to check that out. All colleges offer you the opportunity to resit maths and English. And if you are thinking of going on to a level 3 vocational course, usually you require 4 GCSEs at level 4 or above. But there are vocational courses at level 2 and also at level 1 as well. I mentioned T-levels, so these are new. They're level 3 qualifications, and they just started in 2020 in colleges. T stands for technical levels, so you're going to be taught the technical skills to do with a particular job. And these will be equivalent to studying 3 A-levels. You can go on to university later with these qualifications. 80% will be taught in the classroom, and 20% will be like work experience, actually working in industry. If you want to know more about T-levels, we have got information in Careerpilot. We could look at the local college. A-levels, you might know quite a lot about A-levels. Most schools offer A-levels. Some colleges do, mostly schools. They do often expect you to have a grade 6 in the A level you want to study, but do check that out because every school or college can be different. Usually you study 3. Sometimes you start with 4 and you drop down to 3, and some people stick with 4, but everybody studies 3 in the main. You can do A levels alongside vocational qualification as well. After A levels, you could go on to higher education, a college or uni, or start an advanced or higher apprenticeship. An apprenticeship, so this is when you're going to be trained to do a particular job. So you need to be employed by an employer who's training you to do that. And because you're employed, you get paid. This is the minimum you'll get paid. Some employers pay even more. So you're going to learn by doing the job. Because it's a job, you have to find one, like finding a job. So on Careerpilot, you find there's apprenticeship vacancies. You can see what's available now. And there's other websites that do that too. So there's different levels of apprenticeship. So if you want to get a level 2 apprenticeship, which is called an intermediate, then you might not need many GCSEs to get started. If you want to do a level 3 apprenticeship, which is called advanced and is equivalent to 2 A-level passes, then you will need 5 good GCSE grades, 9 to 4. And then when you've got your level 2, you can move up to level 3. When you've got your level 3, you can move up to level 4 or above and do the higher level apprenticeships. So in terms of thinking about the end of year 11, this is where you're thinking, am I doing an intermediate or an advanced apprenticeship? So those are the 3 pathways. Careerpilot has a lot of information about all those pathways. I'm going to give you time to explore that now. So Careerpilot's got loads of careers information in one place. Lots of information, but also you can build your report as you use in the site. So you've got your own profile about your career interests. To be able to add to your report, you need to be registered. So if you're new to Careerpilot, you need to do that. If you've used it before, you can just sign in with the email and the password you used before, and then you can start building your report. Always try and sign in, so then you can be tagging things as you use the site. The way you tag, we call it tagging. In the top right-hand corner of most pages, there's an opportunity to add this to your own career tools. So if you like this job, web content editor, click on it, and then it'll be added to my job sectors. But it'll also appear in the main report. If you don't tag, you're not going to have anything in your report, so it's quite important. So today, because we're talking about option choices, the first thing we want to do is look at the qualification ladder. It's called qualifications. And you can indicate what level of GCSEs you think you're going to get. So if you think you're going to get 5 at grade 4 to 9, then you'll have a level 2 qualification, or if not, then you'll have a level 1. And then you can start thinking what you might do next. And you could just tag and you could say, I'm just considering this, or I'm definite about it. And you can just plot your route as far as you want to go up the ladder. Once you've actually tagged things, in my qualifications, you'll be able to see those things, but also you can now add subjects and predicted grades. And then when you've got your exam results later, you can change them to actual. So the idea is you keep going back to Careerpilot and adapting and changing as your plans move and change. So now it's about you, chance for you to explore your options. Don't forget to register or sign in. And then there's particular things I've shown you. I won't start with you. And then in Explore Your Options, we've got things like Choices 16, where you can look in detail the pathways I've talked about. You can look at jobs, you can look at apprenticeship vacancies. This is the website, careerpilot.org.uk. And because today is about option choices, we would like you to start by doing the qualification planner and looking at Choices 16. And then if you have more time, you can look at the other things. So you've got about 30 minutes to do this. So if you're doing this from home, you could pause this video and then have 30 minutes to do these activities and then come back. So hopefully you had time to explore Careerpilot and you've got some ideas about the options you're interested in. We're going to ask you about those in a minute. But just to go back to the video, number 4 in the video was use your supporters. So don't forget, you're not on your own in making these decisions. There's loads of people who want to help you. People at home, in school, careers advisors, but also Careerpilot's there as well if you want to go back in and find out more information. So we're now going to ask you to do the pathway planner, which is here in the career tools. And this is going to ask you about which pathway you're thinking about now haven't had time to explore. And then we're going to ask you some questions through a quiz to find out how ready you are for your pathway. And then we can help you if there's anything that you need any information about. So first of all, you see the pathways. You can say whether you're definite about one or considering or not doing. And you have to make an answer for every pathway. And then for the ones you're interested in, you do a little quiz, which will ask you questions about that pathway. And then what we'll give you is a red, amber, green score about how ready you are for your pathway. And what that means is we're just trying to find out whether there's anything we can do to help you get the information you need so you can make an informed decision. So if you come out green, that probably means you know kind of got all the things you need to know and you've got a pretty good plan in place. So we're just going to check that out with you through a short careers advice session. If you're red, you might need a bit more information, especially for something like apprenticeships, which maybe people don't know so much about. So that will show you and us that there's particular things we could help you with. If you're amber, you're somewhere in the middle of that. So everybody's going to get a careers advice session. Don't forget to turn up. This is a really important session. You might only have one opportunity this academic year to have a session one-to-one. You might have other opportunities like drop-ins at lunchtime. So it's really important you turn up when you get sent your time. So to do the pathway plan, it's not going to take very long. It probably takes 5 minutes or so to actually identify your pathways and do the questions. So if you want to go and do that now, again, you might want to pause this video and then come back when you've done it. Great, so hopefully you've got ideas now about the pathways you want to do, you know how ready you are. You might have some gaps in knowledge which we can help you with, or obviously there's Careerpilot as well. And you can always edit on the pathway planner if you now feel that you have got good information about a particular thing. One other thing you might be thinking is there might be particular actions that you could take to manage your career. So in stage 3, plan your next steps, there's an action planner. So you might want to put some things in, information you need to look at, or visits you might need to go on, even if they're virtual. And you can keep tabs on the things that you can be doing to take your career forward. I mentioned the report. This is how you can access it. It can be quite detailed, lots of good information in there. You can download it and send it to your family, or you can share it through your careers advice session, and it will move up with you every year. So you can keep going back in, adapting and changing, but you'll always have a record from the previous year. So that's the end of my presentation. Hopefully you are ready for the next stage of your career, thinking about your post-16 options, and you've got some things you can do to manage your own career. Know yourself, do stuff, know all your options, use your supporters, and Careerpilot is always there for you to go back to for more information. So good luck with your future career decisions, and don't forget to use any support on offer to you. And thank you so much for listening.